Here's another way to make a curved surface using the rail tool. Okay, so these are called sweeps. I made one here. You can see what it looks like. It's sort of a bendy plane. Okay, so a sweep is where we're going to have a path along which the plane is going to move, and then we're going to have two curves that are going to go to the end of that line, and they have to connect. If they don't connect, it won't work properly. So I've got the O-snaps turned on with end. So what I'm going to do right now is select that curve, and then if I go into this view, front view, I can draw a couple of lines with the control point curve. So the other thing that you want to keep in mind when you're doing this kind of work is you want to have the same number of control points on both lines. So I'm on the end of that curve, so I know they're connected with the end turned on with the O snaps. And I think I'm going to do maybe, let's see what that looks like. That'll probably work. Nope, not what I want. It's bending in the wrong direction. So you can see that things start to get a bit complicated when you're trying to draw lines in space. You never really know what's really going to happen. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to bend this way, hit enter. Let's see what I got. Well, yeah, I can work with that. That'll work. Okay. Now my next line is going to be the same process on that endpoint. So I'm in perspective and I can see I'm on the endpoint, but then I want to jump over to this front view, and yeah, I want to go down here. That's it. I want to bend it this way. And you can see it kind of messed up. So I'm going to redo it. And this is pretty normal. It's drawing lines in three-dimensional space gets really tricky. You always have to do it a few times. Let's see if that one's going to work. Okay, let's try that one. Now I'm going to go to Surface Tools, and I'm going to have a one rail sweep. It's one rail because that bottom is the rail, and then the two sides are going to be. So I'm going to select that, and it's going to ask me to select the rail. Now it's saying select the cross-section curves. Hit enter, and then we get the options for the rail. And same thing, if you play around with these options, you don't have to, the defaults are fine, but if you're ever in doubt, hit preview, and if it looks like what you're trying to achieve, then you're good. And there's my curve. Okay, and it's very simple because the geometry is not overly complex. When I turn on control points on that surface, let me try again, F10, select object for control point display, and enter when done. Yeah, here are the control points. So if I wanted to edit that curve, I could do it by selecting control points. And we haven't really discussed this, but you have to be careful that you don't make a big mess. So for example, let's see what happens if I select all of the control points in that dimension and then I drag them over. Okay, that's kind of controlled. But if you start dragging each one individually, you'll end up with, it can get out of control really fast. So that's how you make a one rail sweep. Okay, and a two rail sweep means that you would have two different lines with different geometry on the top and the bottom. So I won't do a video of that. You can experiment with it on your own. It's just that the two sweep tools, you have a one rail sweep and a two rail sweep. And that's how you do sweeps.